What's up, guys? I just built this Element Rc Gatekeeper. I built it maybe a week or so ago, and it was really a nice kit to build. Highly recommend it if you want to build a kit. Doesn't break the bank. I think I paid at Amen. They had it on sale around $2.19, plus I had a coupon. $15 off and then free shipping, and it's like, man, you just have to buy it, right? They save you money by making you spend more, right? So that's what I did. I bought this kit, and I'm going to not use the cage. I think I like this body on here. This is a J Concepts Gozer, and I really like the back. Lots of clearance back there. The front's a little chubby, I think. The front could be a little slimmer. The sides were definitely chubby. What I did is I heated the body up before I painted it and bent it in, just to pinch the sides, made it about 1 inch or so, well, maybe say 3/4 of an inch overall, about 3/8 of an inch on a side, bent it in, and yeah, it turned out pretty good. My normal 4th grader paint job, I guess it turned out okay. A couple things that I made that front bumper, and that's just a piece of aluminum tubing that I had laying around. I cut it lengthwise in half and mounted the screws a little bit off center, so there's more underneath than up top. Then my body keys in there, and also keys on that post. I made a little battery tray for the very front, and also have the option to either mount another servo or mount my battery there. I can mount my battery here. I'm using a little, well, it's like a medium sized for today's standards, 850 milliamp. So the only thing the battery tray they give you is good for is to mount your electrics in it. So you cut the sides off of that, mount your electrics on it, and you got a nice platform for that. Nobody runs a big battery anymore. I guess if you're running on the trail, I mean, even trail running, I just use an 850 milliamp, mount them up front. Your truck performs so much better. And if you want, you put 2 or 3 of them in your backpack. You know, if you're hiking. I think I have a 2200 that I could fit on the rail. That works okay, but I mean, it gets it's a lot of weight to compensate for. Motor wise, I'm running that Surpass Hobby crawler motor. That is, what's it say on there? 3532 1850 kV. It's pretty decent for a cheap motor. I think it's about 40 bucks. Running the Micro X. That is the first edition of that, so I can only run 3S. This motor could run 4S. For servo, I'm running the 9i mod, which you can get a better look at it on this guy here. You can see that servo there. That is the one I'm running on my new model. I run it on this guy as well. It's a really good servo. Highly recommend it. Super fast and pretty strong. Any stronger, you're going to start tearing stuff up, at least in my opinion. So I really like that servo. Have it running right off my 3S battery, and I just do a little solder in there. You buy these here from Amazon. You know, you can get, I got like a pack of like 20 of them for like $7, and come male and female, and you just you mount them up, right? Mount them up, running it right off your battery side of your ESC. You can either solder it right on your ESC or solder it right on your connector, and you're good to go. And what else did I do here? I changed my springs around. My springs rear springs are TRX 6 white Traxxas white crawler springs, and in front I'm running the stock springs that came with the kit, and running these shocks here. They're really nice. They came with the kit there. The plastics in this model are the gray. I don't know if I think that's a tougher, harder compound that they use, or polymer, or whatever you want to call it. One thing I can say about it is when you tighten the screw into it, there's a definite stop. You know, it's not like some of the like the softer some of their kits. That black plastic, when you screw into it, it's a little vague, where you know, you can easily strip something out if you're ate your Wheaties that morning or had too much coffee, you know, and you could strip them out pretty easy. With this, you know, definitely the threads stop, and you can feel it pretty decent. So for my body mounts, I'm mounting a little, looks like an old Arma mount for the back there, and that's just facing the rear. Bottoming out my cab on my shock towers, front and rear, so you got plenty of support there, and just got a single screw for the mount up front, and that seems to hold the body on pretty decent. So you see the smoothness of this ESC. It's pretty good, and this motor set up, and I see when it hits this board here on the load, I have to give it a little more juice. So it's not quite like your FOC on some of the newer ESCs, but I don't know. I mean, how much smoother you need it to be, you know? So a little bit of cog in there, but not bad, right? So these motors are pretty decent, pretty powerful for the size. I think in this model, it might be a little bit of a disadvantage to have that light motor in there. Might do better with a bigger, a little bit longer, heavier motor. Also, you notice there's plenty of room under that motor and the transmission, and I think I'm going to take it. You can't really see. You can't really see. Yeah, maybe from underneath. Yeah, you can see the air there. I mean, there's a good few millimeters I could shave off of the transmission on an angle and get my motor right down. I mean, there's a better picture of it there. Look at that. That motor's way up there. If I slot this the tranny mounts and move the whole setup over a couple millimeters, I could drop that motor down. Man, that's like a half a centimeter there, right? So that's another thing I'm going to look at down the road to get this thing to perform where it needs to be. So performance-wise, had it out a couple times. I don't have any video. It was like one of those deals where I made a couple videos and I was just flailing away and wasn't used to the rig, and I got to get better foams in the tires. So you know, I just didn't keep the video. So it's ridiculous. So as most of my videos are, but you know, it's even more ridiculous than most. This what I'm running here is some cheap wheels and tires. These are J Concepts. They say J Concepts, but I'm like 90% sure they're knockoffs. I get them off of AliExpress, I think it is, or Asia Tees. I don't remember. AliExpress, I think, is where I got these, and they are really nice soft tires for the money. And this particular set, you buy the wheels, you buy the tires, and they're about shipped to me $46. So it's $40 for the wheels and tires, and they're aluminum wheels. You know, you can probably look at that one. You can tell they have a standard deal in the back. You could change out the mounting for an offset if you want. Bring them in, bring them out a little bit. I weighted mine with some low melt So that works. That low melt's pretty awesome. I never see anybody weighting their wheels that way. Someday, if I should do a video about it. If anybody really cares, it's pretty, self-explanatory. You take the tire off, right, and your foam, and you block the back of the front of the wheel off so the blow melt don't run out, and then you fill your wheel up to the screws, right? So you can't really see in there. Oh, you can see in there, right? So you fill it up to the screw heads, and you're done, right? Let it cool for a couple minutes. Put your tires back on, your foam, tires, and you're ready to rock, right? You don't have to buy $80 or $90 worth of knuckles and all that brass stuff to put up front. You can just put these on here. You can still do that, but it gets pretty pricey, some of this stuff, and it's not really my life. It's kind of a hobby, right? So I don't want to spend too much of my retirement on this, right? So I try to do what I can to save some money. And like I said, probably didn't really even need to buy this kit, but I wanted to build something. I thought, I don't have a crawler with trailing arm suspension, so why not, right? So yeah, I've seen some other videos on it. Looks pretty impressive. And so far, it's not impressing me, but it's maybe like a stock TRX for sport. It's about the performance wise. Maybe climb a little better, but breakover obviously is with this long skid here. And when you look at the length of that, that's that's a little bit as compared to that, right? I mean, it's a good inch and a half longer to get hung up on. So that's one disadvantage this rig has. And I guess the trailing arms, you're getting hung up on that too. It's almost like having a longer, even more clearance issues, and I don't really know what I can do with that. There's a couple things I thought about making them up and getting rid of some of this. Making a setup out of Delrin. I don't think I'd make them out of aluminum. I don't want to add any weight to this thing, but at least in the rear, and then just pocket it out for my shock and my mounting position there. I think I'm going to leave that sway bar in there, or anti-sway bar. It kind of keeps the chassis from rolling so much in the back when you're side hilling. The front still wants to go, but the back helps it all stay put. So I think without that, this will be less unique, right? So I think I'm going to keep that in there. And so that's my plans for this. Got to get some foams. I'd love to buy those foams from Three Brothers. I don't think they make them big enough for these. I'm probably just going to get the Proline dual stage. Right now what I have in there is one's my own kind of thing I make up. I segment the stock foam, and I cut the center. Actually, here's a piece here. I cut that off, and then I cut it, and then I use about half of it, right, and glue it onto the foam that I cut this off of. So it just makes like a dual stage foam, and I think this rig deserves some harder foam on the inside, and I don't have anything to make that out of, so I'll probably get some Proline dual stage foams, or at least try out maybe these wheels and tires on it. I really like the J Concepts because they're taller a little bit. They get I guess they're 4.9s instead of 4.75, so you get a little more clearance, especially on this rig here. You can use all the clearance that you can steal, right? So kind of like those tires on there, and they work pretty decent. I have these cheap tires on my TRX 6, and that thing just kind of climbs all over everything, and definitely better than the stock tires. They wear maybe a little quicker, and the tusks here, when I feel that's the green compound, and these are J concepts for real J concepts, and then I feel these definitely softer, softer rubber, thin, right? Very thin. It's not your typical cheap Chinese tire that you get. They've gotten better, you know, but the cheaper tires that come with most of the rigs, they are too hard, and the foams are too hard. And when you get a nice, like a KLR or Proline crawler tires or your J concepts, they have a nice, they just feel like, man, you just touch them and they're like, these things are going to work fantastic. That's kind of how these feel. These are really sticky. They really were super easy to mount up. Sidewall's a little soft, and like I said, I'm really liking them. So yeah, for the money, they're cheap. Plus J concepts, the real ones, if these aren't the real ones, their website has not had them in stock for months. So I think a couple of the YouTube hotshots made some videos, said how great they were, and now you can't get them anywhere, right? So that's just how that goes. So anyways, that's my take on this rig. And like I said, I really like that motor. 40 bucks, right? 40 bucks for that Surpass. They come in a few different sizes. That's not going to focus. There you go. All right, that's a little better. So come in a couple different sizes. I'm going to suspect that they're going to start making ESCs. I know Holmes Hobbies makes that has that ESC, the mini or the micro or whatever it's called. It's basically a quad ESC that's programmed differently and maybe modified a little bit. So I mean, these guys make all that stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised you see one of them out. I think the Holmes has them back in stock. So man, if I had an extra 130 bucks laying around, I'd probably get one and put it in this rig here. But I don't at the moment. So I'm just going to run things as is. So yeah, they have them on at their website. They were in stock last time I looked. So you might want to grab one if you were waiting around for one of them. I was on the waiting list, and they never did send me an email. And then lo and behold, I go on their website, and there he has them up. It has the new version, so it looks pretty sweet. Anyways, so yeah, and I haven't seen anybody run this body. So there it is. And if you, for a size comparison, here's your creep. Here's your creep body, right? So you can see it's a little wider here, more clearance in the back, and less clearance in the front. Right? So yeah, it's a pretty decent, well thought out crawler body. Looks pretty cool. Not real crazy about the sticker pack that came with it. It comes with these like stickers with like skulls and stuff on it. I'm trying to be a positive guy, you know. I don't need a bunch of skulls and death on my crawlers, right? So anyways, I'm not going to use any of those stickers. I actually just kind of like the body the way it is. Put a couple stickers on the back. But anyway, pretty decent body.